Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Monday Morning Coffee. Glad you made it.
Holiday edition.
Yeah, it is. It is. And oh my goodness. So listen, I got a question for you. Who here has a formal CRM, not something that you've made up as a CRM, like a Excel sheet or something? So Peter, what brand do you use?
I'm using something called Less Annoying CRM.
I'm sorry,
And
less.
Less Annoying CRM.
Less annoying CRM. Love it.
They're trying to brand themselves as easy to use and not complicated, which isn't entirely true. But one thing I really liked was that you could create an account that would last for, I don't know, like 7 days or something like that and fully use it. So that was a way to fully explore if it was a solution for you without a commitment. And afterwards, you either pay for it and continue using it, or you got booted out.
Mm-hmm. Did he do it without a credit card?
I don't recall.
Okay. I noticed looking at CRMs that kept saying try us like whatever 720 or 714 day without a credit card. And I thought that's really smart because how many times have you forgotten until you see that first charge and you go, oh man, right? So Maggie, do you have a CRM?
No, but
No?
I've been thinking that,
I
it might be
know.
time to look into it.
You and me both, honey. You and me both. Frida, do you guys use one?
Yes, I was just checking out a bunch last week. I started with HubSpot, but I have no idea whether it's really going to be for me or not.
I know. And is it?
It's frustrating.
I've never had a problem with making a decision until it comes to a CRM. It's like a 4-year decision. I'm still because it's so overwhelming and daunting to put all that time, like whether it be 7 or 14 days, into filling it out and then going, oh, I don't really like this.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, what a waste of time. It's like dating somebody.
Give him his
going, nah. Like, God, I got to do this.
He's got bare hands.
All
Is that
over.
fair?
Hi, Bill Barr.
No. Has he left?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
Frida, you're not on mute.
Ivan, I know you guys use one, right?
Kathryn, I suffer the same thing as you do. I have several CRMs, all with varying degrees of information that I've given it. And I just, I think it's a lack of discipline. That's what it is. It's a lack of taking the information that I get. I mean, I can visualize, Kathryn, how great I will be when I put all my information and trust the CRM and how efficient I'm going to be. I see it, but I just can't seem to get myself to actually create the habit.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of, I was looking at stuff and going, okay, but I'm well set into my emails, right? Like I use the Microsoft and I use my calendar religiously, right? But it's the Microsoft calendar. So now I thought, now I got to make sure I can integrate all this stuff. Bilber, we're talking about we're talking about CRMs. Do you have one?
No, I was just chuckling because I've been after Heather for a couple of months now, and she says, I've got something for you. And so I just reminded her about 2 weeks ago saying, hey, what about that CRM? And then we moved on to the next conversation. So
Yeah.
I'm not very disciplined. I used to have it in a nice spreadsheet. And then with a million events every week, it got a bit not updated.
Well, I got overwhelmed like immediately. Do you want to know the first thing that got me overwhelmed was exporting my contact information? Here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually looked at your contact list?
On what, sorry?
Yeah, at your contact list. So go into your email right now and go to your contact or where your contacts are, because I know Microsoft and Google do this. And look at how many numbers on the bottom when you hit your contacts. You will think you are the most popular person on the planet. I don't know about you, but I had just over 4,000 contacts. Ooh.
Yeah, I have about that in my phone.
Yeah, I know. The guy, when I switched my phone the last time before last, he goes, "Well, you have a lot of stuff on here." Well, yeah, my life is on here. Ivan, how many you got?
I don't have that many. I'm pretty disciplined when it comes to not like I weed out folks that I'm not really interacting with. But I do have a question for Peter, because I went to the app here, the CRM that he mentioned
Right.
there, and for $65 a month, you pay that?
No, I pay 15.
Oh, okay, okay.
There must be different tiers of it.
It must be.
That's probably what they recommend. Buy the expensive thing, and
Okay, okay. Because that's another one where you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, for me, I've got two or three people who are going to be accessing the information, so I got to pay for 3 seats. If it's $15, okay, fine. That's not that expensive, right? $45 a month, I think I can do it. But the US, right? But the thing
US.
is that if you're looking at some of the main ones that are like $25, $30, $45 a month for the features that you want, like even this one here that I have, it says you get everything else except for if you want to set staff roles and permissions. Now you got to go up to the next tier, so that and right now this tier is $95 per total per month, right?
Yeah, per user.
And that's not with the permission setting, right? So now I've got to go up to the next one. That's a lot of dough, and so I think, where's the most pain, right?
Yeah, and a lot of those in more inexpensive plans won't give you more than 1 or 2 users. So I'm glad to hear your discipline, because I must have given my email permission to save anybody or anything that emails me. Barbara, what did you have? How many thousands did you have?
I've got just under 3,000, so it's not a lot.
But
But then I realized that I don't save everybody, so I might have.
Well, I don't do it, but I guess I allowed my email to do it, because anything that started with info, there was like 40 of them. Anything that started with accounts, orders, like I was like, wow, look at the stuff that's in there. Frida, when was the last time you looked at yours?
Just now. I have like, what does it say? It says 5,656 contacts.
Yeah.
Then there's 3,975 on iCloud, and another 2,055 on Outlook, and then 427 on Gmail. So it's crazy.
And that's where I got overwhelmed. Okay, I thought, okay, I've looked at the 3 or 4 different CRMs, and again, I'm gonna save that because I realized I needed more help than just me, so I got to talk to Heather. But it was like, okay, now I got to clean these contacts up, right? And it was like incredible. Do you know how daunting that was? But it is the first time I've done it in 20 years. I don't think I've ever done it, right? Unless I saw something come up. And before I exported to the first CRM, I went from 4,012 to 1,738.
Oh.
I was like, wow, okay, I'm doing pretty good. I still got a fair amount of people. Yeah, well, then I go in there. And have you guys ever done an Indeed? Oh, what do you guys use? Ivan, is it Indeed when you're looking for people?
Yeah, Indeed.
Yeah. Do you know all those emails come back to haunt you forever?
Oh, do they?
Yeah, Indeed, right? If you looked, there are so many people in there with Indeed emails, and holy moly. Now, I'm not all the way through, okay? But the good thing is that when I finish this, I will have a list that I will be able to save. I am down to 937 and I'm on L in the alphabet. Yeah. And I got, that's what was my weekend, right? Because these are non-billables. So, I mean, didn't work super hard at it. It was like I went out, watched my husband snowblow for a while, watched my Sunday morning program, came up here and went, oh, okay, let's do this again. All right. So I really suggest for us folks that are looking at that is that that's something that we're going to have to do, because when you export your information, it wants to line up certain columns, right? And when that has to be happen, so company, contact, addresses, that kind of stuff, right? I had leads in there, which is a person's name and nothing else. I don't even know how they got in there. No email, no phone number, no company name. Like, how does that happen? And this is mine. I have no idea. So, folks, here's my suggestion for CRMs. Before you even bother looking, go look at your contacts in your non-billable hours, right? It's after weekends, whatever. And start going through that. And by the way, you will see people that you go, man, I haven't talked to that person in a long time. I should call them. Yeah, Ivan, go ahead.
Yeah, just quickly did a quick search, and it says here that that using a CRM will increase your efficiency by about 15%, and a lot of businesses reporting a 21 to 30% increase in productivity. So imagine that, Peter. I mean, you're a pretty efficient guy as it stands, right? But imagine adding 15 to 30% efficiency in your month. I mean, what does that equate to in dollars and cents? So
yeah, we all know it, but we hesitate to gravitate to it. That's, I know, Belbert, if I could have somebody else say, Kathryn, this is the one that will fit your needs, I guarantee it. I'd pay the $90 a person and say, because there's two of us, and just say, great, here, tell me when it's all done and show me how to use it. Or let me call you and say, I can't do this. How do I do it? But nobody will do that. Not even our sweet Heather. She'll go, here's what I suggest. Oh, really? Can't you just tell me what I need? Right? Frida, you're hearing me, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm lost as well, because I started with this HubSpot thing, and then all of a sudden I'm thinking, now I better double check as to how long I can try it for free, and do I really want to go through all the effort of inputting all the clients in there and then going through to see what's duplicated and what's not. And like some of them are just a name or an email or some, yeah. So it's just, it's a nightmare. It's something that's just a huge daunting task that I'm not willing to take. Like, I'm doing a 90-day run right now, and I'm not willing to take the time to get the CRM running. So I don't know what to do. I wanted to find something that was going to be low cost or no cost, that I could just use, the contact manager. And I don't know if Google has something like that.
Unfortunately, Microsoft doesn't anymore. This is why I'm in such a predicament. About, geez, it's gonna be a while. I can't say it was recently. Probably in the last 10 years, Microsoft got rid of their contact manager, which was just enough for me. It had the notes, it had all the information, it was part of my email. How sweet is that?
Mm-hmm.
Shows me all my emails with the contact that I've had and so forth. And then they got rid of it. they sold it to somebody else and we could use it for a year free, but then we would have to pay for it. It wasn't going to be Microsoft and blah, blah, blah. So I said to my Microsoft contact that was not Thomas at the time yet, I said, Dennis, okay, so what are they recommending? Oh, here. They gave me a CRM that I could use 3 things out of the 21 that was in it. And at the time was $65 a month. And it's like, are you kidding me? What is going on? Right? Just like Frida said, it's like, this isn't any good to me. So I stuck with that for a little bit and then went, forget it. I can't do this. And have not had anything since other than my Outlook. Now, can you get away using just your email? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm going to try.
Well, if you don't open a CRM, what do you do, Ivan? You said you got a couple CRMs.
Yeah, it's a sad day. I have a book, unsearchable by the way, because it's a physical book. So I take a lot of time, turning pages and trying to find information. I find out that I end up having to text people more often, asking them to repeat things that they told me before because I can't find it in the book. I think what I need is an accountability partner. By the way, I love that mug, Balbeer. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
You want to know where I got it?
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I need an accountability partner who is also going through the same thing. That's going to say, okay, Ivan, first of all, today, all we're going to do is make sure all your contacts are in the CRM. That's it. Yeah. And then tomorrow, hey, by the way, at the end of the week, did you enter all those business cards that you met, the people that you met this week? Have you entered them all? Get them done so that you start building that habit. Because without that and without the pressure, like this is a workout partner, right? For CRMs. If you don't have that, then guess what? You're going to stay out of shape, organizationally, forever. That's it. Yeah.
It is. It's muscle memory,
Yeah.
right? Instead of doing reps this way, it's doing reps into the CRM.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Bill Bulber, do you use your email for your CRM right now?
I use it just as a emailing system and calendar system, but they are not. It's not a CRM. I just use Gmail.
Okay.
But, I am looking for something once I figure out what it is, and once Heather has a few minutes to tell me what she has in mind for me.
Yeah, I've been cheating in using the notes in my email. Hey, Michael, welcome in. We're just talking about the daunting task of starting into a CRM. And that started with the leads, talking about the leads last week and the funnels and stuff like that. And so we found out that out of all of us, only Peter has a CRM in play, a proper CRM. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I have a CRM. It's like a CRM slash project management software.
Okay, and what do you use?
It's called Moxie with Moxie.com.
With Moxie?
I think it's .com. Yeah, with Moxie.com.
And that's with a Y?
No, MOXIE.
IE.
Yeah.
Okay. And have you been with it long?
Less than a year. Probably something like 8 months, 10 months.
Okay, so here's our question. How the heck did you pick it?
I heard it recommended on, I'm assuming you're still asking me, so I'm just gonna.
Yes, yeah.
I heard it mentioned on a podcast, and then I knew I needed it because I wanted it more so for the project management because I felt like my life was disorganized and I wanted to sort of organize that and organize it does finances too, so I could organize my expenses. So I looked into the different options, and Moxie seemed to have it seemed to balance between having the most features but not being super super complicated,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. Peters is called less annoying CRM. So,
Hmm.
we feel you, because the rest of us are sitting here going, just the thought of a CRM is daunting. Never mind actually throwing everything in the ring, right? Ivan, go ahead.
Well, you know what? I really appreciate that, Michael, because I just noticed that with Moxie, you can also get a customer portal, right? Where you can, and it's not expensive. We're talking about $25 a month, and now you have this customer portal that your customers can log in and I guess interact with you. I'm sure that that's for like support or ticketing or whatever it is, but that's pretty sexy. And the list of things that you get in the starter for $12 a month, if you haven't looked at it, you go ahead and look at it, because this seems like a dream to me.
Yeah, I would honestly say it's one of the best decisions I made. It totally transformed the way that I do business. I'm just so organized now, and it helps me manage my leads and my sales funnels. And
You should be an affiliate and share your link.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or lead us into like how to do this. Because my next question to you, Michael, is how was it transferring your information over?
This is kind of funny. I feel like I just showed up and everyone's like, "Tell us, Michael."
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, I wasn't using one before, so maybe if I was using one before, making that transition would have been more difficult. But no, it wasn't too complicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just before you showed up, Michael, we were talking about when was the last time we actually looked at our contacts and did it, like, we love putting in, right? But who goes in there and looks to see what is it really in there? So I found out, oh no, Frida had me beat hands down. She's looking at one of her contacts through her emails that you would transfer in, and she had over 5,000 contacts, and that's one of four, I think she talked about.
Yeah.
Right. Depending on what you put your email on to save, I think I said save everything that comes within a 10-kilometer radius of my geographical location, because the silly things that I had saved in my contacts was just outstanding. Like, I should be proud of myself how ridiculous it was. And so that's why we got onto this, was how hard I'm finding after checking out 3 or 4 CRMs that I thought, oh, I'm going to try these and then present them. And yeah, I haven't even got past my contact list, and that's 48 hours, right? Like, it's so daunting. And because you want to shut your brain down. I don't know about you guys, but I wanted to shut my brain down after a week of work and not think about work, but this is that stuff that you've got to do, right? So my challenge to you guys this week is take 30 minutes from a time of day that you don't have to be actual working, not billable hours, and just take one of your contacts, put it into an Excel, a CVS, whatever, and start cleaning up, even if it's 10 minutes a day. All right. And I got all your names. And so, yeah, I could probably even figure out where you live if I had to, but I want you to, I challenge you to see how much is in there that you really don't need. You go, who in God's name was that? Because really, if the person means anything or you've done anything with them, you know who they are immediately, right?
But it could also be a source for leads. if you don't remember them, we were coached a little while ago and saying, if you don't remember who they are, give them a call and say, hey, I have you on my contact list. You must have been important. I would love to reconnect and see what you're doing now, catch up.
Okay. Very good. That's a great way to do it. Okay. So grab those names, put them on a must call list, right? And so if you don't know who they are after that, ditch them. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. You don't want, they're a lead. But then how old is that lead? They may not even remember you, you know? I mean, Barbara, you're unforgettable, but you know.
In a good way?
Yes, in a very good way. But it happens, right? They go, yeah, no, I don't remember. Okay.
But they might not have needed your product or services back then, but they may do now. So you never know. They might have be doing something else and they need whatever it is. Maybe they didn't have a website before, now they want to change, or they've grown up, maybe, you never know.
And that's a great point. Then they stay in your CRM. But if they just want to keep in touch because they're not there yet, that's a newsletter contact, right? That's not a CR. That's what we've got to realize, that our CRMs aren't just, they are when we first meet everybody. All those, like Ivan was saying, all those cards go into our CRM. But when we contact them, we have to go, either we're going to have an ongoing discussion, or that's getting thrown to a constant email. Mine's constant contact, right? So again, that's how those emails those contacts get out of control. When we have too many things in there. Like, I was looking at my list and I'm going, I have family, I have vendors. Like, I got more tags in this thing than I'm not sure. I ran out of colors. I don't like any of the colors.
Kathryn, if even after networking 2 months ago, if I don't make notes on that person on their card, I will not remember, because there's so many people that we meet all the time.
And that's what you got to be doing, right? That's that, getting this stuff in with notes minimum. So yeah, getting those notes in, that's the other thing, right? And that's why I think Ivan is right on about getting accountability buddy, to say, okay, you were at Mississauga last week. Who's got their emails in the cards? Right? We've got Brantford tonight, and we've got Hamilton tomorrow night. Who's going to say, within that work week, they've got to be done. So by the following Monday, right? Because other than Heather being on a Thursday, everybody else is, Monday, Tuesday, right? Because if those notes don't go in, and doing them the second time, you're going to remember more, and you might want to clarify something for future you, right? Then it's worth keeping in the CRM. But if it shows up with a name and an email, or a name and a phone number, is it worth your time?
I sort of have hard time just with the cards, like the day after, like a trade show or something.
Yes, pen and people. I know that business cards is great, spaced, right, to advertise yourself. But I think it was probably Ivan and Teresa that said to me, leave some white space there. And I love my white space so that people can write stuff on it. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate getting cards back like that. I use more of my own cards for notes, right? Because on the back, I just have my website, right, small on the back, and then all that white space. Because sometimes it's hard to write something in. Yeah. So think about it, because we got a few more minutes. accountability for putting in your business cards from that week. Would you like to get paired with somebody? So Monday morning, before you come on here, you can go, hey, did you do that? Where did you put them? Did you put them in contacts or your CRM or your newsletter, or are they in both? Or, okay, so just think about that.
Well, you know what? I'm going to jump in here, Kathryn, because it just reminds me of the survey that we got back. The person that filled out that survey, the one thing that they said they're looking for is mentorship and accountability partner. So maybe there are a few more people who are looking for that, and we can start pairing people up. And really, accountability is a lot of things, because we all make plans. We all say, hey, this month I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to cut this out, I'm going to stop eating cheese, whatever, right? And having an accountability partner that's going to just kind of be that harassment that you need, just to remind yourself that you made that commitment to yourself. I think that it's a slow push, like pushing snow, right? But eventually you build up momentum, and then you start accomplishing things more. And if that person can help you to accomplish more, that leads to a change in health or a change in your bottom line, to the upside, then that's a good thing, right? So let me know if that's what you want. We'll pair you up.
Yeah. Okay. So again, you got to the end of the show. Think about it, because it would be much more helpful. Wednesday. Oh, I still got a couple days. I've still got all my Specsaver stuff here, right? From being at the mall at Manpreet's place, and they're still sitting here, right? Anybody else got business cards sitting there?
Sort of scattered all over in different bags and things.
Well, I've figured out to get them to one of two places, either a bowl downstairs or in a card thing on my desk.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a desk, so
this might be a little off topic. Like, it's on topic, but it might be a little off topic. But so I'm sure I'm not the only one who has lost, or, like, let's be honest, sometimes even just thrown out some business cards. But I got a business card probably over a year ago that I still have. It's right here. And the only reason I kept it, I don't think that she could be a potential client, and I don't think I could use her services, but it was just because it was so nice. And I don't even mean just the design. I mean, like, it's thick and it has a green border, and it just feels like it's the finish and everything, and it has like a glossy sort of embossed thing, and it's just so nice that I couldn't bring myself to get rid of it. And I was like, I need to do that with my business card. And it's way more expensive. Like, I looked into to do a card like this is way more expensive, but it might be worth it if I'm, symptomatic of how people feel about these kind of cards. I don't know. Yeah. But
can I comment on that just real quick, Michael? Yeah. Teresa and I went to a networking event in Burlington, down by the water, and we both had our first my agency cards were thick cards. So anyway, they were having a draw, and of course they put their hands in, and the very first one that won was me, right? So I thought, this is great. And of course, guess who got another? I mean, I don't know if it was a second one, but one of the other ones they pulled out was Teresa's card, because the thick card stood out. So we won, both of us, right? So that's a good thing. And this is also a plug for not having a digital card, because guess what? A digital card, at the moment that you tap it, it goes into your system. That's it. It's over. You're not going to remember that person. So, sorry, Kathryn, what's that?
No relationship with the
person.
No
relationship.
Like, like Michael's got a relationship with that card and that person already, whether he deals directly with her or not.
Exactly.
Right.
That's very cool. So listen, I do want to have a plug here for Michael. I'm going to plug this right now. So Michael gave me a call, and I was so happy to get that call, because a few of you know that I'm looking to put together a podcast. And Michael called up and said, hey, Ivan, I'd like to put together a podcast. I thought, what? Yes. Absolutely. Let's go. So I really appreciated that. So some of you will get a phone call from Michael at some point, or a text or something, asking if you'd like to be, one of the first to be interviewed. If you don't get a call, please don't fret. There's a lot of people and there's a very little bit of time. So he will be reaching out, and I'm looking forward to see how this podcast evolves. This is a This Great City podcast, but Michael is the host, and he's going to be setting up even the format. I'm leaving it all in his hands because I just look forward to seeing what we get. Go ahead, brag a little bit, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much I have to add. I think you set it up pretty well there, but the idea right now is, and I'm sure this will evolve, but I just sort of want to interview different people in the network and sort of just get to know your business, what you do, what caused you to go away from building someone else's dream to building your own dream as an entrepreneur. For some of you who have employees, what was that transition like? I'm hoping that people who listen to the podcast will be able to learn from some of the mistakes, maybe some of the tips we have about lead generation. And like I said, it might evolve from there. Maybe we'll do more than interviews. Maybe we'll interview people from outside the network. I'm not sure. But yeah, looking to start very soon and looking forward to it.
That's amazing. Yes, I did hear about that. That's exciting, right? As a part of the network. So I can't imagine how excited you are. That's amazing. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So here's my last question. Peter, what habit have you had with your CRM that has made you even more successful than you were prior to using it?
I'll have to admit I haven't been disciplined in its use. I say I'm going to do things, but don't always do them. Something that would be powerful if I actually did it was I made a commitment that there would always be a follow-on task for every contact. So if I get somebody new, the first task is like set up a one-to-one meeting. If I do that, there's going to be another follow-on task. It doesn't have to be immediate. It might be like reconnect 6 months later. And I'm supposed to be entering that for every contact, but I'm not actually doing that. But it's a good idea.
So you just need that accountability, right?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Good stuff. Michael, off to you. There's only a couple of you that use it, so you get picked on a lot. What do you think the one thing that you've done that has made you more successful using your CRM?
Oh man, it's really hard to say. And I don't know if I have the right answer, because the CRM aspect of the software is probably the least used of it. In terms of like I have contacts in there, but I don't put everyone in there. I don't, you know what I mean? I usually have a pretty direct, like I usually, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say I don't have so many people that I'm sort of trying to nurture into potentially becoming clients that I can't just manage it here with meetings one-on-one.
Okay.
But I would say the other stuff, as far as just streamlining, my contracts and invoicing and my projects, because I'm a very, very forgetful person. So just having all my tasks in there, it's helped me be successful in that way. It's saved me a ton of time. I don't know if that's what you're looking to hear, but
That's okay. It's not what it helps me, it's what helps you.
yeah.
Right? But I find that's funny that you say you're a very forgetful person. And believe me, if I could skip from A to Z without having to worry about all those other letters, I'd be okay. But how do you keep all those one-on-ones in here then without forgetting, without using that CRM?
No, you're right. And there's definitely been times where I've opened up my sort of pipeline because it has a pipeline in there, and I'll have people in the closed lost column,
Right.
and I have forgotten about them, right? Um, and because I've seen that, I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Last time I spoke to this person was 8 months ago. Who knows? Maybe something's changed. And so I followed up with them. Nothing's come of that yet, but I do think that there have been times where, yeah, with the busyness of the things that you have to do, you can sort of forget about some of those contacts, and it's definitely been helpful. But I could probably do more to use that part of the software.
A bit of a personal challenge, eh? Like Peter's. Good, good. Ivan, what do you think the one thing using a CRM, depending which CRM that you're using, to maybe
Yeah, again, like I'm saying, I mean, I'm just so terrible with these things. I'm a great starter with CRMs, and I like I said, so many CRMs have varying degrees of information that I've placed in them and then abandoned, just because I have a hard time with the follow through. I still have not really made the connection between the cost of the CRM and the benefit of the CRM, which there's definitely a benefit of the CRM, right? So, but I do see, Kathryn, that if I could, it would be amazing to keep all the notes, right? Because Peter, I got to go through my emails to find, wouldn't it be nice if I could just log in and get that information in one place and then trust that place? Teresa can trust that I'm going to have all my notes in there. She doesn't have to text me or call me. You know what I mean? Or ask me. So that's it. I just look forward to that day when I could be that efficient.
yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Because I know in the one that I was getting ready to use, it's called Pipedrive. Um, I liked because had the basics, and then it said, "Did you want to add anything?" And you know what I added? Notes. That's it. Just text notes, right? And so I'm waiting to see in a day or two if they'll show up with a date, or if I add something else in that. But yeah, just having the notes and a date, and having that idea of what the heck is going on.
And some of these CRMs will attach the email. Like when you get emails that come in, it'll attach the emails for that customer to their file so that you don't even have to go and scroll through and do a search in your in your Outlook or whatever. It just seems to be really super efficient, right? If you could actually use it.
There's a cost associated with that automation, though, right?
That's right.
And that's that increase. So do you need those emails? Maybe you could just cut and paste from that email the 5 points.
Sounds like a lot of work to me.
Cut and paste?
Yeah. You know what? I mean, think about all the emails that you get in a day, right? Imagine that, 50% of them are from clients, and you got to spend all that time cutting and pasting. I mean, that sounds like hiring somebody to me.
Is there an AI tool that can say, hey, go through these emails for such and such and summarize and give it to me?
Yeah, Copilot's supposed to do that, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I think it was in a commercial. I remember, but maybe Kathryn, Copilot might be the next thing to look into.
I don't know. Yeah. And I have resisted it because it's just another learning curve. I must admit, I think that is the bottom line in all this, guys. It's the learning curve.
Right.
What you have to do to utilize the tool properly and efficiently, right? So, like Peter said, right? It's great. This is what my goals were for it. Yeah, but I got to figure out how to do it, right? Michael's the same thing. He wanted it for the project management, and it's working great, but he realizes but he's got to figure out what's the best way of doing it, right? What do you want in the automation? What should you have to pay for? I don't mind paying for services. I just don't want to get taken to the cleaners a couple times for an app. All right. I don't mind paying for what I'm getting, but and the other thing that it's in USD. Okay, could we do something about this with this Canadian push? Canadian companies should be doing not USD, but CAD or CND or whatever the heck. our currency is. Okay, so that was my rant for today. But really, it's quite amazing how many of us do that.
I think it's like no matter what software you choose, even if it's like, the greatest user experience ever, and it's super easy, there's always going to be a learning curve. But if you choose the right software, and I know that's a big if, the learning curve is worth it because it'll change the way that you work. And I think if you're just starting out and you have like a couple clients or whatever, then it's probably not worth it. But once you start getting a lot more, it can get disorganized and crazy pretty quick, at least in my experience.
But wouldn't it be better then, Michael, if we started with those 2 or 3 and figured out what the heck we were doing?
Yeah, maybe. It's just usually when you're starting out, you're trying to cut costs, so maybe you don't want to, but yeah, I think it's probably, you're right. It would probably be easier to onboard 2 people than onboard 50.
Yeah. And isn't that funny? We don't know what we need until we need it. And then it's like, and then it becomes an overwhelming and intimidating and daunting task. And that's what most of us, Ivan doesn't want to pull the trigger. Me either. Like, again, I can usually make a decision pretty fast, except on this one. It's like, no, please don't punish me with a CRM, And I've been looking for other ways to help. See, I didn't need a CRM. And now I'm getting to the stage, and Michael and Adam and you guys, you'll figure this out in a few years. If I want to sell my company in the next 5 to 10 years, it can't look like it looks now on paper. Because it'd be worth, right? Does that not make sense? Like, who's going to take that with my clients and customers and family and vendors? And so, yeah, it's one of those things that we have to think about. And Mr. Michael, are you interested in assisting with leads and how to get leads, business leads?
Yes, assuming you're asking me.
Yes, you're the only Mr. Michael today.
Yes, usually the other Michael's here.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it usually takes me 2 or 3 times to figure out. Okay, so you and I will get in touch because I'd like to learn how to fill up that funnel that we were talking about last week. And what I found was surprising was there was like 2 people that used cold calls. Mm. And maybe are we considering the right thing, cold calls?
That's actually one of my goals this year is to do some cold calling, because a lot of people say it don't work because everyone used to do it. In my industry, I don't think almost anybody does it anymore. So
I think most and well, okay.
I don't know if Ivan has a different opinion on that. You're muted.
I think it's
Ivan.
absolutely great. And then I'll just plug one last thing I always plug, and that is people say that they love getting mail too, which a lot of people don't do anymore. We text and we email, but people like getting mail that's not bills. So if you go back to sending regular letters to people and just say, "Hey, it was really great seeing you," and include something in there, just an incentive of some sort, I think that's a winner. And making cold calls always work.
Right. But okay. So calls, or maybe email, or because I know I used to do cold calls, but that was actually showing up at somebody's door, which doesn't work anymore, right? Because they're all locked. Maybe for another year or so, we'll see. But they are, right? Push the bell. Yeah, no, we don't want you. Thanks. Okay, bye. So it's made it a little more difficult. Yeah. Okay, folks, enjoy the rest of your family day.
All right, Kathryn, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
I see you tonight.